Luxembourg as the foreign ministers meet there. Let's go to Brussels and talk to Miriam Dalli, who's a Maltese member of the European Parliament. Miriam Dalli, thank you very much for talking to us. Your country on the front line of this immigration tragedy. What do you think every country in Europe should be doing?
I think at this point, every country in Europe, and I would say every government of the 28 member states, should really sit down and consider and try to understand the extent of what's happening in the Mediterranean Sea. And I'm saying this because each time we have a tragedy in the Mediterranean Sea, we have a lot of statements about the need to have bold action. We have minutes of silence and messages of condolences, and yet this bold action never materializes because we have a lot of talk when a tragedy happens, and in, say, 1 week, 2 weeks' time, everything dies out. But this time, I hope that this is truly a wake-up call for the governments of all the member states, because the European Union needs to act as one. And we have to keep in mind that in less than a week, we had over 1,000 persons who have lost their lives in 2 different and separate tragedies in the Mediterranean. And this is something which can't go on like this for much longer.
Right. When you say the European Union needs to act as one, what specifically are you saying that the EU should do?
A lot of the time we had seen a situation where the southern countries were being faced first-hand and were having the first-hand experience of what's happening in the Mediterranean. We've had a lot of talk about solidarity, but really and truly this solidarity never materialized. I would say that we need all the member states to start acting as one in formulating a long-term policy. I don't believe in quick fixes in a situation like this.
Just to be specific, though, a long-term policy, are you talking about the actual rescuing of migrants once they've left North Africa, or are you talking about trying to stop the problem at source?
It is a multifaceted solution, so we start by addressing the situation at source. If we still have unstable countries like Libya, if we still have instability in North Africa, then we will still have a number of people who want to flee those countries. We need to admit that Triton is not working. Replacing Mare Nostrum with Triton was an error, something which we in the European Parliament flagged out, and we were concerned of what was going to happen with having Mare Nostrum replaced with Triton. And I think now we have the answer. Triton is not effective at all. We need to also have real solidarity between all the member states. So the situation, the solution is not just one faceted solution, but there is a multifaceted issue to this whole complex situation. And we need to address the problem at the different angles and starting from source, considering the countries at origin and the transitory routes, because otherwise we will not find a solution to this problem. And I think many times...
I'm afraid we're out of time. Miriam Dalli, thank you very much indeed, a Maltese MEP, joining me from Brussels.